episode 13. I am Devious Dave Rose, a very exhausted Devious Dave Rose. I was up quite late last night, enjoying my time, calling into Insomniac on the Foulmouth Network. And, yes, I am, as you can hear, these last 3 days I've kind of beat myself up a bit, with staying up too late on shows and being up after and singing too loud and, yeah, I don't know how much more I could take, Mick. So as always, let's start off our show by showing our gratitude and appreciation for all those that have chosen to spend their time with us here today. We have Casey is Raw, who I was finally able to send a message to because Ken was the one who clued me into where I had heard this before. Casey is Raw's laugh is that of the final boss, Mr. X, I believe, in the game Kung Fu, which was both on arcades and on consoles. And in fact, I'm going to have to play that right now because you guys need to listen to this. And I knew it. It was always digging away with me and at me, and I told Casey, you know, your laugh reminds me of an end boss, but I just couldn't nail down exactly which one it was. But let's listen. Mr. X laugh. There we go. Oh, hold on. I got to pause. I that's what I told Casey. I told him if you were to sort of add some sort of like 8-bit sort of filter to the sound of his laugh, it would sound like an end boss. So yes, I finally found it, and it's one of those mind worms for me. I've got a lot of things on the back burner in my brain. It's like a whole fucking military kitchen. It's huge. So there's things that pick away at my brain and remind me, you got to address this. This is something that you got to fucking, like, it just digs away at your brain. And finally, I that's another thing I can cross off my list now. I no longer have to remember which boss it was. So from now on, it's Casey is X. Or Casey is Raw is Mr. X. So, yeah, I can cross that off my list. I can sleep easier tonight, knowing that finally I found out what it was. Now, continuing to thank all those that are here, we have an actual chef, talented chef in the chat. Gabe Rodriguez, how are you doing? He says, hey, bro. And I'm saying, how you doing? I know that as the holidays are fast upon us, I'm sure that Thanksgiving was a challenge for you. He's dealing probably with a lot of logistics at the restaurants and probably a lot of work and stuff. And, yeah, definitely, made for that role. We have Jay Diz in the chat. We have Laureen. Is that Tuthill or Toothill? I don't know who you are or what. I suspect that you're one of these individuals that is, how shall we say, a troll. But as long as you behave here, you should be safe from the wrenches. Yeah, it's a lazy, snowy, cold Sunday here in farmland, Ontario, and I'm tired. I was watching Ken's show. I mean, god damn, that guy's a machine. Like, I left at the 4-hour mark maybe, and I wasn't even on the whole call. I called in early, but not from the start, and the guy went for another 2 hours. I got through 1 hour. It's like, I got to take a break from this. This is too much. So I thought, hey, let's play a little Kerbals. And I thought maybe you guys would have some fun with us. So, thank you guys for joining me here. And, yeah, hope to have some fun. I'd like to get some interaction, either if anyone wants to be on call to play a space with me as mission control or something, or if they just want to give suggestions. In the chat as to what they would like to see, whether it be a certain person blast off in a certain type of vehicle or jet, because we can make jets in this too. We can make aircraft. So if you want an SR-71 type clone, we can try that. And if it goes too fast in the atmosphere, it probably will burn up and it'll explode. So, there's that. Um, let's see, there's sending a satellite or a lander maybe to the moon or further away. The problem is that I still have to study the proper orbital mechanics to get a craft to another planet. Now, the two moons of the planet are okay. So I'll just start referring to it as the analog. Earth is Kerbin. Kerbin is Earth. And the problem is these guys really they like to put Kerb with everything, this studio. So Kerbal, and I guess you can sort of equate it or sort of relate it with Sol. Sol is the Latin name for the sun and, indicates our star. We call it the sun, but, its proper name is Sol. So that's why it's Kerbal. But the planet is Kerbin. And these are, and these little green things, they're called Kerbals. Well, Kerbals, but it's the spelling difference. And yes, it is, it is difficult to remember. But hey, I'm going to try my best to remind you guys. And if you get confused, let me know. Gabe Rodriguez says he's doing well. He's growing the beard out. So are you wearing one of those masks that they force you to wear in the kitchen for people with beards? Like a bag, almost? All right, so we're going to boot up the game here. Just do the transition. I'm going to... What's it called? Have to look at my phone for monitoring the chat. And we'll start the game, and we're going to go back to... Which one? New Frontier. That's the one that we started the other day. So we'll load that one. So apparently Lauren, I still don't know how to pronounce her name, says, oh, well, yeah, you wrote your name again, but you're not giving me the phonetic pronunciation on how to do so. Not a troll, Mr. Rose. Continues to say, I've listened to you all the time. I just never spoke when been busy as well. I'm a chef as well as I take care of my elderly mother. That is a little questionable, actually. But, we'll see what other things you're going to spout on this stream. Because I got Steve Callan there, because I know how to pronounce his name at least. He told me. He told everyone, actually. I got him with the wrench in case, you decide to get a little randy. Plus, we got Casey as well. He likes to get randy. He's got those furry handcuffs and stuff. He likes to, use those to make you feel all good. Gabe says, Thanksgiving was crazy in the kitchen. A lot of prep and planning and to make sure that we had enough ordered so we won't run out of birds and stuffing. I plus made 120 gallons of fresh cream of mushroom soup. Interesting. That is quite the quantity. But yeah, I can't imagine that insanity. What does he say? Oh, he has the beard guard. It sucks. Of course it does. And it's your choice to have a fluffy face. So, all right. So we are back now at Kerbal Space Center. Got to remember all these different points here. And we were working on that UFO the other day. Let's try to see if we can get this thing working. I mean, I don't remember why what it was specifically that made it work. And I don't want to waste your time either, trying to figure this out. Like, we can have more fun doing other things, like watching jets go up or, rockets, and then people exploding and shit. So I just can't remember what it was. Activate anti-gravity. Fuck it. You know what? I'm not in the mood to fuck around with this shit. Let's go back to Space Center. We've got Van Edwards in the chat. Shout out to you. All right, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to just recover it. And remember, this is a sandbox, so obviously you're not getting points. You just have access to the entire thing. It could be fun watching me do the career mode, but it would just take so long to do things because you just have to keep going through missions. And personally, I love this. I love being able to access my stuff and figure out whether or not it works. I want to build a not a space plane, but I want to build a high altitude craft. And there are actually pre-made planes here. We've shown these in the past. So this Raven Spear. If we load this one up, you can see that it is basically like an SR-71. And you can get to probably some very high speeds with this. Actually, what does it have? It actually has RCS. Oh, so this is actually meant to be to get into orbit. That's interesting. Lauren Tuthill or Tuthiel, who still hasn't revealed how to phonetically pronounce it, says, "Here's the breakdown of my name: Tut as King, Tut, and Hill as Henry Hill. So Tuthill." Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. So Tuthill says, "Mr. Rose, you have the breakdown of my name. You have said it right." Okay, Tuthill. See, I'm a dirty spick, so I don't know. Well, I'm not as dirty as SE Steve and fucking, or Jacob RP, but forgive my inability to speak the English language. All right, I want to build a jet. I want to build a fucking jet. I don't want to fucking use a new one or a pre-made one. So we're gonna call this. I don't know how edgy and base should I be today. We don't have Costanza here to let us know. But yeah, I'm not gonna push it today. I'm not gonna push it. I'm too tired. I could do so much. Let's call it Birdie. What the fuck? Hello. Birdie 1. So, I'm wondering if we should use that cockpit. This one's only one person. And this is two. But they're they're side by side. Tandem would be one in front of the other. And there have been bombers like that in the past. Or flight, like the SR-71 is tandem. You got the pilot in front, you got the recon officer in the back. Interesting. Okay, well, actually, I need people to volunteer. Who wants to volunteer for this flight? That means I'm going to have to exit this. Actually, I thought you But we've got our astronaut complex, which we're going to go to now. And Todd and Tony made it back to Earth. Apparently they're not available. I think I left them on the... I haven't recovered them. I left them in the ocean, I believe. We've got this Ronley guy, who I just picked to try to make the UFO work. But who in the community, and we're going to take him out, who in the community wants to be an astronaut here? Kerbal, if you will. So we'll go to create. I don't know, if I make one of Bullfrog, will he complain? Will he get mad? Say that that I'm picking on him or something? Because, you know what, I like to push the limits of engineering, so we have to pick people that work okay with dying, right? And yeah, it's in the pursuit of science, so that's a good thing, right? But I certainly wouldn't want it to be me. So, yeah, I'm calling people out as to who would like to, or who should be the next person to try to fly this high-speed jet. We're going to really try to punch it and go as quick as possible. This is going to take I've done this before, but you can really get above Mach 3, which is the maximum speed of the SR-71, and its precursor, the A-12, which went actually higher and faster. But I say we take it to the limits. Take it to the limit. Limit! And really see how far we can push this shit. And it'll be fun if it gets all destroyed. So it's Tommy NC 2010 is a suggestion by Steve Callan. What about co-pilot? Anybody want to suggest a co-pilot? Because this seats two. So we're going to say Tommy NC. He'll be our pilot, I guess. I mean, well, obviously, you know, he doesn't have many skills. He's got a lot of courage considering his tubby ass and he's definitely extremely stupid, so maximum on both. And he is a veteran. He is a veteran in the community, but he is no badass. So, Tommy NC, God help you. All right. Let's see what the chat says. Anybody else want to suggest? Actually, Hamza. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put Hamza there. Hamza will be... He sort of seems like a scientist type guy, but... He also drives the show for Tommy, so I guess he's sort of a pilot too. And, I mean, you're not going to have Tommy just fly a plane on his own without having somebody to be there to pick up the slack. So we'll make him a pilot. It's kind of stupid, but not too stupid. But he has courage. He has courage to be with Tommy. So there we go. And not really a badass or a veteran, so we're going to do that. So we got Hamza and we got Tommy. All right. So, hey, if they survive this, then we'll send them out on a mission, on a space mission. So, let's see. Did it save Birdie? Sometimes it saves that. Okay. Do that. No, this is... Okay, so what would this plane be called because of Tommy? The Positive, maybe? No, the Fedora. The Fedora 101. All right, so we're going to get ourselves the Mark II cockpit, looking spiffy there, like the X-Men plane. Okay, so fuel tanks. We need plain fuel tanks, and the difference is some of these include. See how this one says liquid fuel and oxidizer? Well, that's what you need for a rocket engine, but not for a plane. This one has, again, both. This one only has liquid fuel. This is what the stuff that we want, because this is just the fuel that we need for flying, not for going into space. So, I'm going to pick a nice long fuselage here. And let's see. Actually, no, hold on. Pick this one, because we're going to have two. Actually, will we have two engines on the back, or are we going to have them on the... I think we're going to have them on the wing instead. This one is the oxidizer. Now you can actually pick these parts and reduce. Like if I was to do this, for example, click here and actually reduce the amount of oxidizer. It it decreases the weight, but it also makes it specifically for the use in a plane, as opposed to something that would be for space travel. Van Edwards asks, what game is this? This is called Kerbal Space Program. Now, this is the first one. They are making a game right now. It's not yet out, but it's called Kerbal Space Program 2. It takes this to a huge other level. Planetary settlement, interstellar travel, crazy shit. But this one is, and it's actually not the final version, because they kept releasing stuff, and you could, if you bought the copy, you would keep getting, the updates and stuff. But now they've got the finalized version, and I don't have that one. This was just prior to that. So it's a fucking amazing game, and you should really check out some of the previous videos I did with this series, because it's so much fun to play. You learn so much about orbital mechanics. It's just really cool to visit other planets, and having your little Kerbal guys, these little things down here, having them explore a different area and deal with different sort of what's it called? Environments, gravities, and so forth. So so since Van Edwards is digging it, and I dig it, we're gonna first show him some fun with some flight travel, air travel, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into we're gonna do a landing for you, Van Edwards. How about that? Stick around long enough, we'll land on the moon here. Whereas in this game, the analog is called the Mun. Actually, I don't think I can do that from here. But regardless, I was going to just show you the solar system. But there's several planets, and yeah, it's really cool. All right, so let's get to business. We need to make a plane. We need to make a space plane. All right, well, we're not doing space plane yet. We're just going to do a very high altitude, high speed craft. We need a tail section. I believe it's here. Hold on. Well, we'll figure that out. What we're going to do now, since we already have this portion, we're going to build the wings. So we're going to try to make it in the same style as the SR-71, because that is a proven design, and it should work. Should work here. I've done it before, but I personally like to play more in space. I like trying to orient craft, to dock, and so forth. But it is so much fun to actually fly a jet, especially at high altitudes when it can just break apart. Because that's the whole fun about this, is that Van Edwards, is that if you create a craft that isn't structurally sound, it starts to wobble, it starts to break apart, it explodes. It's so much fucking fun. All right, so we need wings. What wings will we get? These are, no. Nope. And there's a lot of parts too, so it's hard to remember where they're located. Yeah, there you go, I think. No, that's too heavy. what we want, we need a leading edge. Yep, there we go. Both sides. We need a flat surface. This one. Yep. Okay. That's still a little too short. We're going to need another section here. Alright. Well, gotta push with the cock you got. So, final section here. Oops. Take off that. There we go. Clone these. Damn it. Perfect. These will be long motherfucking engines. It's going to be a lot of surface area though. That'll give us the lift, but that also gives you drag. It's always a trade-off. No, we're going to have to adjust this. Okay, there we go. Damn it. Guess we're gonna have to use this. I don't want to. There's another tail section that I can't seem to find that doesn't have the two spots here for jet nozzles. And I might just use parachutes on there to slow it down if we need to, but I just don't know where it is. There's, I mean, technically I could do this, just as I did before. We got this, we reverse it, we reduce the oxidizer to 0, so it's just liquid fuel, and yeah, that should be enough. So, back to aerodynamics. So we need a flap now for that section. Come on. This might be a little too big, actually. Still. This might work. No. Damn it. Okay, so back to symmetrical. See, it goes like that, so we gotta move it. Nope. There we go. Nope. Nope. God damn it. There we go. Alright, so there's that. We're going to have the engines now. So, nose cone, nose cone. I want to add something to the back there. It's too small. So the challenge now is to make the... I'll figure something out about the tail. Actually, I'll do it now. I just don't want to fucking spend too much time on it. Is it this one? Yes. Alright, so there we go. Nice little tail section. Alright, so the engines. The engines are the big deal now. So this is the engine nacelle. Tells you how much air intake it gets and what kind of fuel it has. This, the engine pre-cooler. See, It says advanced materials allows this cooler to wick the heat away from the attached engines. In addition, it features additional intakes optimized for supersonic speed and powerful static suction. So we're going to need one of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to build one, and then it's going to, we're just going to clone it. So we got two. Now, air intakes. So this one here, for example, says this is used mostly for delta wing craft and is for high performance. So we're going to use that. Let's see what else. Fuel tanks we're going to need. We don't need to use air brakes. It's got some cool stuff though, you know, some air intakes and such, but actually this one might be a little bit better. You know what, we're gonna stick tradition. So, and again, thank you for all you joining us here today on this lazy Sunday. Liquid fuel, there we go. Let's see, is this big enough? Yes. So, here's how we do it. We're gonna just stick this on the back here. That's a little, there we go. I'll get you guys a better view. So, we got the fuel tank. Actually, before we do that, this is going to be our final attachment, which is the air intake, but we do this sort of in a reversed form, or method, I should say. I think, yeah, so this one was too small. Should be this one? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have fuel for this. Actually, we have a lot of fuel already. Technically, we can keep the engine smaller. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We've got our engine pre-cooler. Let's see here, under engines. I think we need aerodynamics. My bad. Or is it? See, I don't fuck around too often with this, with the jets. That is. The fuck, I got nowhere else to go, and here we are. So this is a supersonic intake. Version of the Mark I fuselage module carries only a bit of fuel, but is fitted with a streamlined air intake. It consists of a bump with a forward swept inlet cowl. This eliminates the need for a splitter plate, which while compressing the air to slow it down from supersonic to subsonic speeds. DSIs can be used to replace the intake ramp and inlet cone, which are much more complex, heavy, and expensive. I think we're going to do that. Let's see. Where the fuck are the engines? They gotta be here. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so this Rapier one is actually made so that it can go into orbit. We're not going to do that. Let's see. Hold on. Alright, so turbo ramjet, afterburner turbofan. Let's see, thrust is 30. I think we're going to use that one. Come on, go away. Come on. This is a turbofan for more of a jet. It's actually quite big, see? We could do a lot of fun with that stuff. We could make a jet or something. There's also what's called an ekranoplan. That's what it's called, ekranoplan. In Russia, what they did is they created these sort of planes that really didn't fly. They just hovered, not hovered, but they flew 10 to 20 feet over the ocean. And because of the updraft effect, they were extremely effective. And you could make really large planes, or ekranoplans. And, the Russians thought about using that to move troops, which it could have if ocean, like in smaller areas, Caspian Sea, for example, Black Sea, but not over oceans and stuff. And the Americans found out about this and made their own and stuff. Very fascinating stuff. Always love to add a little truth about what we're doing. So we got the engine here. Still not big enough. Well, actually, no, that should work. We'll see. Yeah. All right. So what we do now is we attach this here. We're going to take the air intake. There we go. Put the tail back on. So we were just using that as a point to get this working. And by the way, this actually currently looks very much like what's called the aux cart program, which is eventually what the SR-71 evolved from. So the A12 aux cart, and A stands for Archangel. 12 was the 12th revision of it, and basically it was made in the late 50s under total secrecy. No one even, like, they produced this thing in about a year, which is why the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works got so famous with their stuff, because they were really effective in how they did things. So they had several iterations, and one of them looked like this, but they eventually formed with more stuff. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, again, going to a more traditional and tried and proved plan, and we're going to be adding the final sections here. These are a little big, actually. Not the biggest fan of them. These are bigger, probably. Yeah. How big are these? These could work. What we'll do is we'll do that, and then we take. Where's the other one? It's this one. Actually, this one. Yeah, that's the one. Adjust that a little bit. And I know that some people might consider this potentially boring, just to watch me build this stuff. I appreciate those that do choose to be here. But, you can't sort of rush these things. You gotta really, try to take an effort to at least make sure that your crew doesn't die. Because if not, it's just very easy to just put them in a rocket and just kill them all. I mean, that's not my plan. My plan is at least make an effort to save these people, even if they are community rapscallions, as it goes. Might be enough. No, that's probably too big. This might work, right? Just gonna clone this one. Damn it. There we go. That should be good enough. Yeah, let's just save that just to be sure. Also want to make sure that we have Tommy. Yeah, it's actually already filled. Tommy and Hamza. And you can see that because he's a veteran, he gets the orange suit. All right, back to the craft here. We're gonna need landing wheels, because if not, we die. All right, so which one was it that we needed? It's this one. The same one. It is the same one. Yeah. Problem is that these ones are a little too small. So if we look at them, yeah, that'll cause a crash. So we're going to try to avoid that. So those wheels are on nice. Take that off. Clone one. Put it up here by the nose. Everything looks fairly level, so that's good. We won't have to worry about it smashing, at least when it comes to the ground, hopefully. But we need still some more control surfaces, which means we need some tail fins. So back to aerodynamics. And we have several tail to actually choose from. Some of them move independently, and some of them have, ailerons and such. Or some of them require ailerons. Sorry, let me just stretch. All right, so we have these winglets, and this might work. Actually, this will be, yeah. All right, so very much looking like a A12 or SR71. We should be good. We should be good. So, let me see what else. You know what? That'll be it. Yeah, that'll be it. Godspeed, guys. I don't know what's going to be caused from this, but Godspeed. All right, so on the runway, we have Tommy N.C. Kerman and Hamza Kerman. I think they're married. Ready to take off in the new Fedora 101. Let's see how this goes. Throttling up. Engines activate. we actually reach orbit. 25 kilometers is our apoapsis. Jeez, look at, we haven't even gotten like what, 10% to our fuel. Okay, so now we're actually starting to slow down because the atmosphere is actually thinning out. So if we go down a bit, we can actually keep increasing our speed. This is how space planes are supposed to, well, craft like the Aurora are supposed to work, is that they sort of dip back into the atmosphere to gain more speed, and then they use that thickness of the atmosphere to power their engines, and then boost up again, and then go down and boost up again, and it like really gets these things to the point where they have enough speed to get into orbit. See, we've dropped at least 100. Yeah, I see our engines are starting to cut out because the atmosphere is too thin now. I have full throttle on, so they'll activate when they have atmosphere. See, this is what's actually so cool about this shit. We level out a bit. We're going to be able to build speed and then jump even higher. We could potentially even, because that's the thing, Aurora apparently is a two-system, craft system. You got the carrier that brings it up to this about this atmosphere, this altitude, and then from this point you can launch another craft that built enough speed and has the ability to use a scramjet to boost it up even higher. So it's some really crazy stuff. Apparently I'm being told that we cannot hear Dave Rose very well. So let's see if I can correct that for you. Where is the game? There we go. Can I do this? Let's give it a shot. And yeah, if anyone else is having problems hearing me, please let me know. It's like one of those things where, like, and I've noticed this with many people. Oh, I didn't want to tell you had something in your teeth. It's like, but I've been talking to people for the last half hour and I look like a fucking fool. Plus, all those people also didn't tell me I had shit in my teeth. But regardless, it's one of those sort of situations. I always have told people, and they're like, oh, thank you. Okay, so look at that. Look at that speed. Jeez. We're really gaining speed, and if we just pull up here, look at the map. Now we're raising our apoapsis again. And we'll be able to actually raise it even higher. So this would be like a skipping type thing. The Germans actually produced a craft which was later adopted by the Americans and others, which was a sort of atmosphere skipper. And this was actually what the dinosaur program was all about, dynamic soaring. So it utilized this technique to see. Look at this. We can get even higher now. We're going to get even higher. Look at this. Let's see how high we can get this. Now we're hitting the atmosphere hard. The lack of atmosphere. So although we will get into this apoapsis, our engines are almost useless at this point. Go here. See, it says airflow. It's decreasing. Why? Because there's no atmosphere. And there they cut out. There is a disadvantage with dual engines, is that one of them can cut out prior to the other, and then you go into a spin. Very difficult at high speeds to recover from. But by using a single engine, it's a lot easier to apparently recover from this. But regardless, is you're dealing with extremely fast speeds, whether in a game or in real life, and as such, um, the slightest movement of a craft can either destroy it or send it entirely off course. But in situations where where the SR-71 actually was targeted by North Korean and Soviet uh, anti-missile systems, um, and they were fired upon. They were never shot down, uh, at least to our knowledge, but they were fired upon, and although the threat was close, by just moving a little bit off course, enough distance was made because of the speeds. So if you understand aerodynamics and such, you understand that sort of movement. But regardless, and here the engines come active again. Um, but yeah, this game just makes it really easy to learn this sort of thing. And look at the thermal heat. Look at the thermal heat. Now, if I reduce my thrust and try to pull up, I'm trying to pull up right now, and it's not working. I don't have too much atmosphere to deal with. There's drag, but I'm not getting the lift necessary. And I'm still trying to pull up, and it's not doing anything. Let's see if I increase speed. Maintain control. So we're going to try to make it back to base, but it should be a challenge. But look how little fuel has been consumed. I don't know if it'll take us too long to get back home, but gotta say I'm quite impressed for producing a off-the-cuff, real quick design. Because yeah, I didn't know if they would live. So Tommy, you thwart me again. You thwart the internet again. Okay, so let's see where we're. I gotta get it to there. Look at that. Look at the distance I've covered. Let's just reduce the speed a little bit, a little quick. This is hilarious, though. I did not expect this. I thought this craft would probably, wreck in the atmosphere. It'd probably just be pulled apart from the speed. Extremely stable, but we'll see as because the thing is the fuel actually diminishes per tank. It doesn't sort of do it equally. So at certain times crafts will become unwieldy because of the fact that. The fuck is down there? That's okay. Because the fuel just becomes unbalanced. Let's see if I can just get this under control. With enough speed, you can actually accomplish this, but. There's other crafts that have sort of like I can't remember what the fuck they're called, but they stick out here. The Soviet Concorde, or equivalent of Concorde, had it. yeah, they allow for stabilization for long-nosed type craft. Wow, that's quite the distance I have to cover. I'm not even facing the right direction. Let's see if I can adjust this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, it is difficult to sort of pilots from just looking at the information there. It's not the map, but if you train yourself, it's not that difficult. You want to look at the history. A lot of people actually, in the space program and stuff, had to learn how to pilot spacecraft without the possibility of there being a window to direct them. And it's kind of pointless as well in space, other than for near encounters. Having a window is pointless. Even using a sextant to calculate, distances to stars or orientation are kind of worthless when you're talking about orbital maneuvers. So they had to understand, again, this is what the whole display here is sort of trying to assist with, is it gives you your orientation, all the different features and aspects of your flight, and G-forces, throttle, all that sort of thing. So it's just very, very cool, the history of space travel. And, aerodynamics and flight, because, even before space travel, the jet engine, which came from the Germans, was something that was a marvel. And they broke, we still haven't totally learned, because this stuff actually still remains classified, but we still haven't learned exactly everything that the Germans were able to produce during World War II and prior. Did you guys know that fiber optics and night vision actually were produced by the Germans during World War II? They had operational items with those things during World War II. They were the first, I believe, to have color. They had television. They had color transmissions as well. There's so much more that hasn't been talked about their technological advances. But all right, so what's going on here? Chat seems to be stable. We are on a great course as it continues to approach. It's oriented itself towards Kerbal Space Center. We'll have to make a slight adjustment because this is going to come a little bit off course here. But we're making good time. And if this was a commercial flight, you'll have only time for a little bit of a dessert before you get right back to your flight location. Well, destination. But yeah, I'm actually, again, I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed that I was able to pull this off and make this actually work, because I just threw it together from basic knowledge. All right, we are sort of get to the point where the engines won't be that effective, but we are at a very high speed right now. Now we're starting to decrease, but we hit 1288. The atmosphere is getting thin enough that these engines don't sufficiently work. If we had additional air intakes, that might allow for just sufficient amount of air to reach the engines so as that it can continue to function. But With what we have here, it won't do so. Also, there's called a it's a binary type engine. That's not what it's called, but I just can't remember right now. It's a hybrid. There we go. These type of engines hit these high speeds like we just hit, and then what they do from there is that they switch from feeding on air, which is how this is, a jet engine normally works, to feeding exclusively on liquid oxygen or some sort of oxidizer, and that basically would then give it that extra boost to go into space, as the space planes that we were told were going to be existing by now. So that's how these hybrid engines would actually get a space plane into orbit, and many have come before. HOTOL, HOTOL. There's, I think it's called Sabre. It's a British one. Well, HOTOL was also. Oh, well, look at this. We're coming in real quick, and we're gonna. I should have been paying attention rather than monologuing, because we're gonna miss our destination. Oh man. But look at the speed. See, this is probably where I should have had the parachutes to slow down the speed. So we can try to burn off some speed by what's called bleeding it off. But we should have just come down onto the runway, but we really fucked up. But hey, at least it shows that the plane is functional. But we're still going at least Mach 2, I believe. I gotta do the calculations again because I can't remember. But damn. So yeah, we gotta try to bleed off some more speed. Alright, that's right. I'd like to save Tommy and Monza. Come on, pull up, damn it. We may have saved them from certain doom. Van Edward says, I'm really enjoying this neat concept, and I appreciate the commentary and the explanation of what is happening in real time. Well, I appreciate that you're here, man, and that you take interest in this sort of thing too, because to me it's a passion. You got to have the right stuff to be an astronaut. So, like, let's be honest, that's a very prestigious sort of thing, and it's like all these people think they could be basketball players or rap stars or rock and roll, legends. It takes a special type of person, and you also have to compromise on a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? If I see some sort of alien craft, well, I'm fucking an astronaut. I'm telling people, and they wouldn't like that. So yeah. Could have been a good astronaut if there weren't these stringent rules. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen in the future. But now we're actually in a nice return flight towards the landing strip here. We're a little off course. I'm going to try to adjust that. But we have throttle at only about a quarter. And this bird is fucking quick. Well, boys, you're almost home. Remember, I never did this maliciously. People wanted to see it. Oh, shit, 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 shit. Oh, well, rest in peace, Tommy and Hamza. The world is a better place without you. What can I say? And the only things that remain are the engines. I guess sort of in situ of the two that were lost. Maybe they got reincarnated as those things. So there we go. I didn't mean it. I was trying to. We were almost home. And hey, the plane did really, really well. I might have to adjust the design, but I mean, for a first go at it, shit, that was fucking awesome. So let's go to the Space Center now because we got Van Edwards here, and Schleppy says that was the best part. Well, I'm sure I'll hear about it on one of Ken's shows where tell me like, did you see him? He killed me on purpose in his video game. He killed me on purpose. So like I was saying, since Van Edwards here, we said that we were going to, in honor of him, because he was liking this, to make a craft to land on the moon. So people, I'm going to need some suggestions for who it's going to be. And we're going to do a direct, what's called a direct descent craft. So, as everyone knows, Apollo, purportedly, utilized the two craft measure, which was, you got the lander and you've got the space capsule that orbits. And the space capsule will dock, you can put people in there, get them to go down to the surface, then they come back up, dock, and then eject that so you don't have all the weight and the mass, and then you go back to Earth. So, but there was another, initially what was planned was a direct, one craft. It would land and it would leave. So it would descend and it would ascend. But Apollo had the lunar lander had a descent stage, the bottom one, the gold thing, and then the top stage, the ascent engine, or the ascent stage. And as such, each of them, did their own part. So, let's land on the moon, or the mun, as they call it. We had, am I going to use this? Okay, so what did we have last time when we went live? We had, can't remember, there, the TNT. I'm going to load that. Okay, so there's this massive rocket here, which has, which got us to the moon and back, but it's got no spot for a lander. So, but we know that this stage, this whole thing can get us to the moon. And this stage, portion of this stage and this stage can get us back. So, and with substantial amount of fuel. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to, will it work? No, that engine's too big. This will be a challenge. First and foremost, what I'm going to need is volunteers. Voluntolds. Voluntolds. So people in the chat right now, tell me who is going to be on this craft. Because, there's a chance of death, just like we saw previous. And I've got no control of that. I'm trying my best to keep these people alive. I am the Kerbal Space Command controller. And, obviously it looks bad on me when people die under my watch. But I need people to select them. Voluntold, as I said. It'll be a lot easier to make a direct direct descent and ascent stage rather than two, because then I got to orbit them. I got to capture it back again. Get back into orbit. No, I want to go straight down, land, plant the flag, get the fuck out of there, and get back to Earth. And yeah, there are fucking previous. Look at this. Hold on. Don't save. So there's other craft here. Like there's craft specifically made, as landers and stuff. I don't necessarily like them personally. I mean, they work. They got them here for a reason. But I don't want to. I want to make my own shit. And I want you guys to, guide a few things, tell me what you think. But this would be a one-stage lander. Look at the way they filled this motherfucker with fucking fuel. Unreal. So, we got that. All right, so as I start, let's see, Bam says, I was talking to somebody else. Send Keith to the moon. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try to save them. But I tried to save these other two. I mean, hopefully I won't be 0 for 2. But it's come to this, people. It's come to this. We're going to create YR. He's a male. He's a pilot, I guess. He's somewhat stupid, but he's also got courage. And I'll give him the veteran. He's been around long enough, so we'll give him the veteran. Then we're going to have Keith. And he will be... I don't know if he's a scientist or an engineer. We'll leave him as a pilot as well. How about that? He's not a veteran, per se. He's kind of stupid. And is sort of like the, cowardly lion almost. So, we'll give him 50%. But he's a pilot, so he can control the craft. And then finally, we're going to have Bullfrog. We know that Bullfrog is a tourist. He can't do anything but fucking watch. And he's got some courage to him, but he is absolutely stupid. Absolutely. He's not a veteran, and he's certainly not a badass. So, there we go. Now, back to the Space Center, where we will put them into a craft. This will be called... we'll call it the... In recognition of Van Edwards, we're going to call it the VE Express. There we go. So, pick a 3-man capsule, because they're all going to go down there and back, hopefully. We're now going to raise this up nice and high. Way up. We need an ablative plate. So we're going to save this first. It's, from my days, I worked with DOS. I always have to save constantly. So, ablative plate. That's what we need first. We need to connect a plate that's going to protect us from the heat of re-entry. Come on. Where did I put it? Nope. I'm gonna have to go back there in a bit, but I think it's structural. God damn it, Kenny. There we go. Right under where it says thermal. Great job, Dave. Great job. All right, so there we go. So we got a thermal shield. This is going to be a challenge. I'm just wondering. Yeah, we're going to have to do a one. It would just take so much time to engineer a a two system craft. So we're just going to have to make it one. This is one of the things that they actually struggled with in the Apollo program, is that they and it's kind of crazy, is that at the last moment, Werner von Braun was pushing for a one craft solution, like what we're trying to do right now, and at the last moment he decided to give in and say, okay, this is like the two craft system is the better thing. So okay, so since we're going to be using a one craft, we're going to want just like we did last time. We're going to want a drogue parachute on top, and we're going to want atmospheric parachutes. There. Okay, perfect. Looking fly. Or fresh, as Jacob RP says. All right, so next on the list, we're going to need... hold on, let's do this. Let's check this. This has electric charge of 150. We're going to need a battery for that. See, this is 1,000 charge. This is 4,000. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. Put the battery there. Should power the whole craft, just like this also has power, but it'll ensure that just, because of anything, it'll have something. Now, we do want solar panels, so the 1x6, I'm going to put them there. Okay, now this is basically based on the TNT1. Did I say 2? God damn it. All right, so based on the TNT2, the TNT1 design that I made the other day, we have two panels that should provide additional electricity and stuff, so we're good there. Save that again. Let's see here, I just want to catch up with the chat. Van Edward says, I'm actually very close to the Space and Rocket Center. Von Braun's name is associated with most things in the area. So, are you in Alabama then? Either Alabama, New Mexico, California, or Florida would be one of the places that I would guess that you're at, if that's if that's the stuff that you're telling me, because I know he was all over there and such, and I know Alabama testing grounds there were highly visited by him, and that's where I believe they ended up going under Project Paperclip, where many Germans went, at least stayed for quite some time. All right, so we got our main stage. Well, not the main stage, but we've got the stage that will get us back to the planet, all prepped and ready to go. Now, and we have this whole thing, this is wrong, so we're going to create a new stage. There's going to be the ejection of the capsule, and we're going to make another stage, which will be first the main drogue. The drogue is to slow us down. It's not to carry us down as a regular atmospheric parachute does. It's the last three. Those are the ones that are to do so, and that's why they're the last stage. All right, so we need a fuel tank for this. We're also going to need some RCS fuel. So this is the big one. That's probably a little too big. We won't be doing, well, there might be, yeah, there's gonna be necessity for maneuvers, but we can also pick tanks that will sort of hang off the side. Let's see, because yeah, there's God damn it, get out of here. You have these ones here, monopropellant. So there's these ones, you know. We need, let's first get a main fuel tank, which is also going to act as our structure to land us. It's a little too big, obviously. Let's see here. Again, shout out to anyone who's sticking with me here on this lazy Sunday. Skibbity bop. All right, so there we go. That is a lot of fuel, and we got to think as well. We got to get into orbit. We've got to deorbit and land. So we're going to need a lot of fuel for both of those things. Then we got to have enough fuel to not only get back out into orbit of the moon, but we're going to need to have enough fuel to get back to Earth. So, you know, this was always a challenge that was experienced with, you know, with any space mission outside of Earth's orbit. So, you know, to me, especially because I'm doing this on the fly, like, you know, there's a lot of resources for this game out there, a lot. There's documents that I have that show, you know, what angle you need if you want to travel to another planet and stuff. And it's fairly easy to follow those instructions and so forth. And I'd like to use them at some point in the future. But I just love also just, you know, working on the fly, really trying to see if my knowledge in this, looking at the numbers, understanding the parts and stuff, if it can really work. And yeah, it's a fucking game. But just to think, like, you know, as an engineer almost, you know, as somebody who's actually trying to make this work and see your team both, you know, land and survive and successfully come home. This topic for me has always been just the coolest thing. And unfortunately, I grew up at a time where we were promised a mission to Mars by 1982, I believe. We were supposed to have moon bases by this point and Mars bases and stuff. We should have been by actually, we should have been by Jupiter by this point, even using this primitive technology. So yes, I am a little disappointed, so I live vicariously through this video game. But all right, let's get this fucker working. We're gonna need a landing engine and a descent engine because we're fitting both into the same role here. We'll see how this fucking works. Where is it? There's a specific engine here that is... No, not this one. Actually, I think it's... Yeah, these four actually work well. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Actually, I'll do it that way. Okay, so these engines should be quite good for that role that we're assigning. We are going to have landing legs on this. So where are they? They're here. Yeah, the big ones. Oops. So I'm going to place the legs, oops, not too high, but with enough clearance, you know, for the engines. We're going to bring them up. And we're not going to build a what's it called? Ladder. This should be sufficient. I don't really like it blocking that though. There we go. Let's save that. All right, so the rest of this should be fairly easy to do. Oh, we still have to add. So this is what we'll do. Add 4 of those. What else was going to add? Oh, we need some RCS. So there we go. Mount those there. We'll see how this works getting out of the atmosphere. We could put a fairing over it. We're not going to do so. All right, so the rest should be, as the kids say, apparently easy peasy. Is that what the kids are saying these days? All right, so skibbity bop. Got ourselves our decoupler. Save it again. You never know, can. And now we start to build the mother. So, bigger rocket. I like the bigger rocket. Oops. What did I do? The color. Yeah, this is kind of cool that you can change the color and stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I keep it the traditional black and white, or and that's just this stage, because there's other stages that have, you know, black and white, or should I change it to the orange scheme? Just as a, I don't know, just an aside to you guys, if you want to choose. We already have orange on this thing here, so that might, you know, if you fancy the colors, and you know, looking good and all that sort of jazz, yeah, let me know. Can't really ask a poll, at least I don't think so. I don't think I can do it from my phone. Ask a poll of your opinions, because that obviously would be quicker for you guys rather than typing some shit out. Many of you are lazy, I know, so am I. But yeah, it's just a little side thing. You never know. Alrighty then. So what we need to do now is we need to build a face buster. By that, what I mean is we're going to bust the face of the atmosphere. We're going to push with the cock we got as hard as we can push, and we're just going to try to do this by brute force. There's going to be no attempt to do things on the more scientific method. No, we're just going to try to do this hard. And come what may. Come what may. So, we now have our lander stage and ascent stage. We have a tank here that will power another stage, and I believe what we're going to do with this one is we're going to pick a nice big-ass mother. 2,000 kilonewtons in the vacuum of space. Let me just check with another one. So it's 2,000 on this one. It's fairly powerful. I don't know if we're going to need it, because by the time that this is used, we're going to definitely be either in orbit or in the vicinity of the moon. And I do sort of over-engineer things, and it's obviously very costly in real life. So, um, I also try to think realistically. I try to do things minimalistically, but you know, I always think of the contingencies and potentially needing that extra power. So, we're gonna, because look, we're gonna be using one of these stages. This is gonna be one of our stages to launch, right? It's very reliable. We could just get our own engines of this if we want, because I believe it's the same engine. Hold on. This is a Vector KS25. KS25 times 4, yeah. So it's 4 of these. These are very powerful, and they're sort of like the shuttle engines, and those are extremely well designed and very powerful. The only problem is that they were forced to be attached to a liquid engine and such, but they are very good, and that's what we're going to be using for that. And Van Edwards also says keep the traditional colors, so we will. Where's the fucking tanks? Oh yeah, because we're not even there. Where's the big mofos? Yeah, so hold on, let me just turn off the cloning. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so we're going to be having something like that. We're going to definitely have a stage that that has this amount of fuel. And that's usually sufficient to, because again, we are doing this with one craft as opposed to a lander and a capsule. So it limits a few things in regards to fuel consumption. There's pros and cons. It's crazy. I love it, but let's get this going. So we need this We need the sky puncher. That's what I'm put here, aka Sky Puncher. Let's see. That'll have to be our first stage right there, nice and big. All right. Okay, guess we're gonna have to over-engineer. Fine, so be it, Dave. So, engines. Engine start. Nope. Shibbity bop. One of these has the gimbaling. It's gonna be still too small. I think this, yeah, there we go. All right, so we need couplers now. Couplers. Can I just? All right. All right. From here, we're going to need something from aerodynamics. Might actually be structural, yeah. This one. Nope. Nope. So maybe it is aerodynamics. No. Structural? We were just here, though. Look, what I'm looking for is it's a cone, and It's supposed to link this into this section here and make it more aerodynamic. Let me think where it might be. Oh, yeah, probably fuel tanks. I think there was one here. Damn it, Kenny. Yeah. All right, so over-engineered as it is, the VE Express is set to take off very shortly. So from here, we're going to need a engine that works extremely well both in the atmosphere as well as outside of it. There we go. The skipper should be sufficient, but we could get some good punch from this one. Problem is that it increases the weight dramatically. This is a very heavy engine. Powerful, but heavy. So it might just use the fuel inefficiently, and it won't even get enough. It won't fire for long enough for it to get to its full potential. It is tempting, though. It is a sexy-looking engine. No, we're going to try a little bit more minimalismo. Minimalismo, as Ken would say. All right, so there we go. The skipper should be enough. The mainsail. I like this one more. We'll do that. All right, so next on the list, we need more couplers, decouplers. Oh, no, it's not the one I wanted. It's supposed to be a bigger one. Oh, well. Okay, so there's that. See, I'm just checking in the chat here. What's up, Fest Love? This is unfortunate, though, because I can't seem to find the one that's supposed to cover the entire thing. Could be because of the engine, though. So, since we're going to make it sexy, at least try to. Let's see if we can just switch this up to this bad boy. Do that. There we go. Alright, well, we'll see if that fucking even works. Let's go down here. And try to level it with the ground so that we can see its size. Okay, so this is, yeah. Just back out. Hold on. Fairly tall rocket. We're probably going to need some, just like we saw with the previous rocket, we're going to need some sort of stability aerodynamically. And which one was it that I picked? I think it was this one. Now we're not going to actually add ailerons on this. This is more, the engines can compensate. It's also another part and stuff that can break off, but this is more for stability. Here's the thing, I don't know whether or not this is sufficient fuel to get there, to do what we are setting out to accomplish, which is to boost this out into orbit and then get it to the moon and then back. So I'm just wondering if I'm doing a few final checks in my mind here. You know, like look at this, for example. This is here, but that shouldn't be that. So those engines are supposed to fire off almost initially. Well, actually, they are supposed to fire off initially. Then that'll break apart. That engine will go. Then obviously, once that's done, and once that engine's done, this will separate. This engine will go. Eventually, that will separate, which means that this engine, or these 4 engines, are now active. It's supposed to land us on the moon. After which, once it gets back into Earth orbit, or Kerbal orbit, this will separate. Then we've got the drogue chute, and finally the 3 main parachutes. What say you, folks? Shall we launch as is, or shall we do a final system check to beef it up? My concern mostly is actually the weight, but this stage here because of the engine, the size of the engine. I don't know if it's going to get enough thrust to, or if it's going to be at sufficient velocity where its engine will have a proper effect on boosting this craft even more. All right, Van Edwards says launch. Well, then the V Express is ready to go. So let's make sure we have our crew. Yep, YR, Keith, and Bullfrog are ready to go. They're ready to rock and roll. And last thing we do is we get our launch control. What are these called? Stability enhancers. There we go. So, put those there. Now these are located at the down at the bottom. Now, what we'd want is we want them before that. We don't want, if we let them go, this whole rocket drops on the engines. It goes, bloom, and then we're done. But no, what we do now is we set it up so the engines fire first. Once they're fired up nice and ready, we activate the stability devices. What do you call it? Launch stability enhancers. Those will disengage, and our rocket will be off and running. So save that one final time, and let's launch. This is exciting. This should be exciting. No, it is exciting. I don't know what we're going to expect. We already had some great, scientific work done in the previous encounter with Tommy, and unfortunately, we lost 2 souls. But hey, all in the name for science, right? So, here we go. All right, so everyone's ready to rock and roll. Let's just take a final look. Okay. Hopefully, this won't, and nothing up here will rip off because of the speeds that we're going to get. So, first and foremost, activate SAS, which gives us stability and ensures that we can have much more control over the computer and the roll and orientation of the craft. We're now going to increase throttle. We'll go to 100. And we'll activate the engines. And now, we will launch. So, what we're going to want to do is be prepared because our apoapsis is going to raise. And at one point, we're actually going to have to start to angle ourselves to 90 degrees, which is over here, so that we can actually get into an equatorial orbit, which is the quickest way to get to the MUN, as it's called, because of the fact that it also is on the equatorial orbit. The moon is not on an equatorial orbit. So it's like on an angle. It's actually more, from what I've seen, more southern. Regardless. All right, so we can start to move a little bit now. And if we look at this, see, what we want to do is get to about 100. That's stable. You could go to 80. You could go to 70. But 100 is stable. It's also part of the Kármán line, and at least on Earth, not this planet. This planet's actually smaller than Earth. But it's... oh, shit. First stage is done. Damn it. Should have been paying attention there now, shouldn't you, Dave? And activate. So yeah, 100 is stable enough that you don't have to worry too much, and it's again analogous to what we have on Earth, so it's easy to sort of understand if you understand how we do it on Earth here. So, all right, so that's good enough. We're at about apoapsis of 98. What we want to do, I haven't shown this too much, but we're going to do it now. Add a maneuver. We want to get a stable orbit. Okay. Apoapsis of 300, no, we don't. Reduce. 155, no. 124, meh. 116, meh. 97. Ah, God damn it. Okay, well, we still have time. Jeez, God, why? Okay, let's try this again. Add maneuver. Okay, so we went a little higher. Apsis 103, 83, 81, 90, 108, maybe a little more. All right, good enough. 90, 109. We got to activate this in about 24 seconds, but it's actually probably better to do this now. So, target, maneuver target, RCS activated. We got a good amount of fuel. That's good. 8 seconds. Okay, we're firing our main rocket right now. We're trying to activate this. We've got to wait until this maneuver, as we expend this Delta V. We have to wait until that's done. And, you know, we went a little bit past course, but we should have enough velocity and be able to... That's why it's always good to start this first. God damn it! My calculations were off. You know, see, this engine fucking burns fuel like nobody's business. So this was my concern, that we wouldn't have enough thrust. And yeah, this is... It's not looking good, people. I mean... there we go. Oof. Alright, so let's deactivate RCS. We don't have much fuel here. And that's a problem now, is that we have now added more sort of, what's called, debris into orbit. I have now fuel in this tank to get us to the moon for sure. But now we've got this. I can either try to... Well, it's not even going to throw us to the moon. It's going to get us a little bit out there, but it won't get back into the Earth atmosphere. So, you know, this is actually problems that people have to think about when they launch stuff into orbit. Again, it fascinates my nerd mind. But I also like to think the whole, you know, life or death thing, like, you know, we got to get these people back and all that. So, and we got a mission to accomplish. So we've got YR, Keith, and Bullfrog, and they're all freaking out. I don't know why. I mean, like, you guys are okay. You're in a stable orbit now. Like, let's look at them right now. So this is YR, I believe. He's looking over. Ah! I don't know if that's Bullfrog or if that's Bullfrog. I think that's Keith. Whoa. Like, yeah. I like ice cream and roller coasters. Yeah. Whoa. I'm in a space castle? Uh, and again, YR, I told you I wanted the beef sandwich if I was going to be your rock star. You know, I can make you a star. And again. All right. So, these three gentlemen, if we want to call them that, want to get to the moon. The moon. So, Van Edwards, there you go. That's the mun. Sorry, that's the mun. And this is actually the sister. Well, it's an additional satellite for Kerbin. It's called Minmus. Its gravity is extremely light. Um, you could technically run off the. You could run so fast that you can get into orbit. Um, very cool planet. And then if you scroll out even more, we see that those are unknown objects. Those are basically asteroids. Some of them huge, some of them very small. And once you track them, you're probably going to have some sort of encounter. Like the planet's going to be encountered. Like it could either hit the planet or come close to it. But once you activate it, you're going to have some sort of involvement. And it's really cool because you can actually sort of, and they did this on purpose. They worked with NASA when they made this particular add-in, where you can redirect a asteroid, which I think is very synchronistic to speak about because the DART mission by NASA and SpaceX, interestingly enough, launched the other day, which was to try to impact an asteroid and potentially learn from how to do this in the future. So yeah, cool stuff here that you can interact with, and you can, if you redirect it, you can actually make it orbit the Earth, for example, and you can also install bases on there. You can you could land on there. You can do so much. So it's really cool. So we also have Eve, which is Venus, and that's got a very thick atmosphere. So although you can utilize planes and stuff and parachutes to land, it's really difficult to get off. You got Moho, which is Mercury, very hot. This is the planet, the star Kerbal. There's Dress, which is, I don't believe it's like, is it like Jupiter? It's also rocky as well. Duna. I think I talked. No, I don't think I did talk about it. Duna's the Mars analog. It looks identical to Mars. It's got a very very limited atmosphere. Cool stuff, but difficult to sort of land on and get off of. Well, not so much get off of, but land on because it's got limited atmosphere. So parachutes are somewhat limited. This is cool. The Joule system. Joule is Jupiter. And it's got multiple moons that surround it. And it's just really cool. But to get out there is fucking difficult. You can see the entire system. And then finally you've got Elu, which I believe is sort of like Pluto. But I can't remember exactly, but regardless, to me, this is just so much goddamn fun, personally. And it's just, there's so much you can do. It's not just the scientific stuff and learning all these, orbital mechanics and stuff. It's like, yeah, you can put YR, Keith, and fucking Bullfrog on a fucking, on a rocket, see if they can fucking land. All right, so here's what we're going to do since I'm done talking. Zoom in closer. Well, we are looking now because the quickest way to get into the moon's orbit, or mun, right there, which is trailing us, actually, is to wait for it to rise over the horizon. And, I could I could easily create a maneuver. I'll show you actually. Let me show you that. So let's just say that over here, I want to create a maneuver. So I click on that, add maneuver. So I increase it. So you see the orbit moves out, right? Now, at this point, it's not going to catch the moon. The moon's going to move back. Now, and it would tell us, like once it actually has an intercept, it'll tell us. So we've got the orbit out nice and long. So if it was in the area of the moon, it would be grabbed by its gravity. So that's not telling us that right now. However, we can adjust this accordingly. So I believe it's this one. This is what's this called? Anti-normal, possibly. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, there we go. So you can rotate this around, right? And you can definitely intercept the moon. This isn't what we want because this will change the actual angle. But if you mess around with it enough, you can actually just pre-prepare your maneuvers and just set one after the other and just go through them and not have to do it on the fly, sort of thing. But that's what we're going to do. So what we want is we want to fast forward. Actually, hold on. Before we do that, we're going to have to prepare for our extended mission. And we extend our solar panels, although we are in total darkness. And we're going to do a little time warp. Let's do the time warp again and again. All right, so we're close to not only hitting the terminator line, which is basically the line between sun and darkness, and we're going to be coming up to see the moon. So let's prepare. Activate RCS. We are going to go prograde, which means in the direction of where we want to go. At least that would be the best way to explain it. Or easiest. That's where this is pointing us to. All right, so looks like the boys here are at least a little more stable. They're a little more relaxed. And we're going to fast forward a little bit more. The moon's going to be coming out fairly soon, which will be our signal to punch it, as it were. You can see now electric charge. Well, electric charge hasn't gone down, but we have our solar panels out. This is actually good contrast because now we're going to see the moon as soon as it starts to rise over the horizon. Let me just go back down here. It's just about, I guess it's, where the fuck is it? It says that it's, it shows us that it's over the horizon. I don't see it. computer tells us it's good. That's good. Oh, we lost the stage. All right, so let's eject. Let's move a little forward. Hold on. RCS, move us a little forward. Get us out of the way of that. And hit it. This may be a fuck up. We're using too much fuel, and yeah, it's oh shit. Ah, Dave. So disappointed in you. You could have done so much better to introduce Van Edwards into what you love so much, and you fucked it up. All right, well, let's try to get an intercept with the moon. I didn't engineer this as well as it should have been, but it is what it is. 2 million. We want an encounter that is a lot less than that. "37 kilometers is good enough for me." Whew. I'm not trying to kill you guys. I'm not trying to kill you. This is a challenge going on the fly, but that's what I like. You know, some people like their horror stories and their soap operas and their Tiger Kings, but to me, this is fun. Shout out to, I guess, 11 people who are watching right now. I don't know if my phone's telling me the truth, but regardless, it's a snowy Sunday night. All right, so let's fast forward here. So we're just about to get an intercept course here soon. Moon's coming in. Almost ready to go to real time. And we are go. So, let's get back here. Periapsis lowest point will be at 37 kilometers. This is not the insertion type that I wanted. I wanted to come in clockwise as opposed to counterclockwise, but it is what it is. So what we want to do, and this is where maneuvers also help when we can make them work. Click here, periapsis. This is the most efficient way to do it. Maneuver, reduce retrograde. Or is it increase? What is it? Oh, yeah, it was. No, that is increase. Sorry, that is reduce. Okay, so this is anti-retrograde. Or, well, this is prograde and this is retrograde. That's what I'm trying to say. So, 36 kilometer and 70 something. 49, 33. That's good. That's good. So, we have about, what it says in game, an hour, 37 minutes to do this. 11-second burn time. That should be sufficient for our engine to get us there and then allow us to to change it. See how it's also on an angle? We can actually change this. We go like this, or like this, right? You can actually adjust it. Regardless, I don't want to waste, I want to get into stable orbit first, and that'll then allow me to adjust it if I need to. But yeah, kind of dirty entry. That's what she said. With this orbit, this should have been on the equatorial, should have been straight along here. But now I'm coming in on an angle. So that's what we're going to have to do. But I want these boys home and safe. So what we're going to do is fast forward. And we're watching the time. We're going to be starting the burn probably at least 30 seconds prior to it telling us that. I don't want to risk what we just encountered, where I calculated too late. But the Van Edwards Express has already shown itself to be quite useful. All right, so RCS still on apparently. Let's see what's going on here. About 3 minutes? No, yeah, it says 3 minutes. That's interesting. Really? At this altitude, it's going to get there in 3 minutes? Okay. All right, so we're going to be preparing to go into maneuver mode. So we're just going to set the, since SAS is on, all these controls allow us to just point the craft without having to manually do so. The craft is basically getting ready here. Tells us it's in 2 minutes. It's because I fast forward so often that I don't remember the distance when it comes to the moon and its its speed. But we're ready to go just about. This craft is already oriented. So it's what it's doing is it's in the direction of retrograde, which is in the reverse direction. What it's going to do is it's going to be able to slow itself down enough that it's going to create an orbit around the moon and have its gravity capture it. So, just about ready to go. And this should be interesting. I mean, we got a lot of land here that's in the sun that will allow us to land, but it's really cratery. And some of the better spots are around here, like just above here, there's an arch. It's sort of like the 2001 Space Odyssey movie where like they found ancient stuff on the moon. So there's that. And there's other structures on the moon stuff, really cool. But they're easier to reach when you're on equatorial plane than, on this angle right now. But we're almost ready to go. Engines are full and ready. We have a substantial amount of fuel, so we'll be able to get into this. I'm not only will we be able to get into the orbit that we want, we will also be able to probably adjust our orbit as well, and perhaps correct it so that we're much more on an equatorial plane. All right, so we're about 35 seconds in. Actually, we're going to wait till 20 seconds. Actually, we'll do it now. We got to be very careful. Don't go too far and crash our asses into the fucking planet. Or satellite. That's its proper term. What we're looking here is to reduce the delta V to 0. I keep throttling up and down. This is good enough. Say when it gives you the check mark, that's good enough. And it's all right. So there we go. Quite the orbit. Look at that. Quite the fucking orbit, Dave. And it's most efficient to switch this plane when you're at, say, for example, here, because it's the plane that you want, and then you can do a few maneuvers to to sort of correct that. Actually, you can also do it at the extreme here. So if we were to do something like this, add maneuver, we look at here. I think it's increased, right? Nope. There's no what I wanted. Alright, so what was it? Forget it. Can't remember. Alright, so at least we've got these boys to the moon. Ready to go. Let me check the chat here. Give me a number 1 in the chat if you're still intently watching. But we've got a lot of land that we could cover, and this would be a good time to sort of try to land. There's not too many good places to land. I mean, very cratery. But hey, might as well try, right? So, we're going to go to retrograde. Now, actually, yeah, well, we'll leave the solar panels open for the time being. The only concern I have is when it comes to landing, where they might be damaged. Okay, hold on. We've almost spent this stage, which is what I want. I don't want to keep it. I want it sort of destroyed. Alright, so we've spent this stage. We're going to eject. We're going to actually retract these. We're going to check our radar here, see where we're going to land. I'm not pleased with that. I'm going to just do that. Actually, I found where I saw better landing spots over here. Are we falling? I think we are. Yeah, that's a good spot. All right, so shout out to Steve Callan. Shout out to Bam, who are watching intently. And I am trying to get these guys home. Nope. Hold on. There we go. So we're extending our landing pads. Or legs. Oof. Are they... Hopefully they're on properly. They don't look like they're on properly. But okay. We'll see how this works. All right. So what do we got next? We're falling down. We are our orbital speed, which we should change because we're now landing to the surface. You can switch this, see? Surface 140 meters per second and increasing. So we want to go into the retrograde position because this is in reverse. And this will allow us, get the fuck out of here. This will allow us to reduce our speed to the surface. So as I activate the engines, we're already, we've already used like 10%. And I think there's something wrong with these fucking legs here. They don't look like they're supposed to look like. But yeah, what we're trying to do is come down easy. See, it's not that hard to come back from 120 meters per second, but we don't want to... We're going to have to use our fuel mostly at the last moment to get us down nice and safe. But as long as we're about 3 meters per second, we should be good. The issue is that the radar on this game isn't that accurate. So although it tells you a certain distance to the ground, you might not be that high. You might be lower. Well, like I said, I'm trying my best. I want these guys to survive. Depending on how much fuel they have left, maybe they'll have to stay on the moon. But yeah, they're all freaking out here. You got Bullfrog like, and again, I asked for roast potatoes. He's like, whoa, like, dude. Whereas like, ha ha. Or something. I don't know. What does Wire do? Can. Come on, can. All right, so we're also seeing up here about 15 kilometers to the surface. It's coming in quick, though, and we are increasing our speed substantially. So we want to be monitoring this, and we're going to want to try to reduce our speed. We'll give a nice little blast. Reduce our speed substantially. But look at all this. Look at all these craters and shit. This is not an easy task to do, but we do have a nice area here that we're going to be, landing in. And hopefully it's not too rocky. But yeah, we are coming in quite quick. Coming in hot. 7 kilometers. Now we're going to blast it here. Reduce our speed substantially. All right, so now we're about 30 meters a second at 5 kilometers. We're still going to build speed again. Now here's something that we can do, is that we have a lot of monopropellant. So if we actually activate the monopropellant, we can actually slow ourselves down. But let me just keep monitoring this. Okay, so we're still coming down. And I can assure you that, my computer is quite dated. But, I've made it work. You get a new computer to play this game, and I can guarantee you're going to orgasm. Also, yeah, this is available, I believe, on Xbox and Stream and some other places. Well, Stream for the computer and, Xbox. I'm not sure if it's available for PlayStation, but yeah, you can find several different versions. So it's perfect. We can see our shadow. We are about 3 kilometers up. We want to reduce this to about 3. And we don't want to waste too much fuel, but we are reducing the speed here. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to sorry, I'm concentrating here, to reduce your speed sufficiently but not throttle yourself up too high where you start to go back up again. See? And you also got to monitor the distance, the speed. This fucking ball also sort of distracts. So now I'm going a little bit up. I like the dust effects. Oh, oh, they landed. They landed safe, and the pads actually worked. Oh, thank the heavens, thank the heavens. So we got one crew at least. Well, yeah, any landing that you can get away, you can walk away from is a good one. Unfortunately, we can't say the same for Hamza and Tommy and C. But hey, I'm 1 for 1 now, right, guys? At least on landings. We still got to get this thing back to Earth. But whew, wow, I was feeling a little nervous there, boys and girls. All right, so let's make sure that we got some energy here. Make sure we don't run out. And YR is going to jump out. I'm like, come on, Ken. Come on, Ken. Oh, Ken. Ken. All right. Well, I'm YR. I'm great. And I'm the first one here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plant a flag. I'm special. Today we're going to call this, what do we call this? I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. Well, let's call it Wire Landing. Or, no, I know what I call it. YR Exotic. That's right, because I'm exotic. Here, her is my landing spot. Know what I'm saying? There we go. Here is my landing spot. Know what I'm saying? Oh, and we forgot. Come on, Ken. Ken. All right, so Wire Exotic is the landing site. And he's oh, there we go. So U is the lights. Forget about those. So if we activate RCS, he can go and he can fly. Look at me, I can fly. Whee! I don't know if we should let the other two out. They're kind of irresponsible. So I'm not too sure whether or not we should let them out because they might just try to run away and Keith be like, wow, it's like the moon and stuff. And Bullfrog be like, where can I find a good pizza? No, no, you don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna go find a pizza. It's like it's the moon. I don't care. I'm sure somebody here has pizza. So, looks like, well, we've accomplished what we set out to do, and the most responsible of them did plant a flag, and I think that's good. Oop. Grab it, board it, board it. There we go. So then we go back to inside. Yeah, Keith, like, whoa, like, why are I wanted to go outside, like, whoa, and like, you didn't let me go outside. I wanted to like run wild up my wishing tree, like, come on. Then you got hold on. You got Bullfrog. He's like, I wanted to go outside. I wanted a burger. I wanted a pizza. You didn't let me go outside. Why are? I mean, there's nothing even out my window. I don't know who Danny310 is. He says The Expense. What's The Expense? Do you mean the series The Expanse? I haven't seen that, but I've heard of it. Sounds cool. Like, come on, Wire. Come on. Like, I won't be on. No, come on. If you're cool with me, I'll be your number two in any other missions when you are in space and stuff. Like, But I need a burger or a pizza or something, please. Something processed. Come on, I'm hungry. All right. Well, it's unfortunate, but we're gonna have to get back to Earth or to Kerbin. We still have the light on our side, and we should be able to just punch it right out here and land. That'd be the most best thing to do. I don't think we should leave these guys here. Again, the whole intent was to get them back, and this is, after all, in recognition of Van Edwards. We are with the VE Express, and it's shown itself to be quite reliable, considering how quickly it was put together. So, just checking in with the chat. Looks like Steve Callan's having some fun. All right, so we need to get back into orbit. The boys are ready. SAS on. Engines are go. Well, let's do it. Beautiful. Look at those beautiful effects. All right, so oof. God damn it. Look at the fuel that we have left. I don't know if we're going to do it. All right, well, at 26 kilometers, that should allow us to create a maneuver here. Look, I'm going by the skin of my teeth here, people. This is a difficult task. What are we going to do? Oh, God damn it. Okay, we're gonna have to try to pull this off. Uh, all right. Well, there we go. All right. Well, we got back into a stable orbit of the moon, or the moon, but well, we've sort of corrected a little bit our orbital orientation here, but getting back to the Earth is going to be a challenge with all like no, we don't even have. Oh God damn it! We don't have enough fuel to get back. We don't have enough fuel to get back. God damn it. I can't do this to the guys. Look at this. Well, people, I will let you decide their fate. Do they try to... No, they're not even going to land back on the moon. They can't. They don't have enough fuel. What do we do? What do we do? Do we let them continue to orbit without, any fuel? Do we try to, I don't know, make them land, which won't work? Do we use the cheat codes to get them back home and safe? I'm going to leave this to you people because I am thoroughly embarrassed by my lack of engineering in this chance. I mean, in the previous one, I fucking did gold, but, well, in the two previous ones, but this one I really I failed. And if I just did a little bit more engineering, we could have had these boys back home and safe. So, I'm going to have to leave it to you guys. You guys are going to have to tell me what I should do, because this is, it's challenging. And if I don't get enough votes, then I'm going to have to wait for another episode. Because I know that YR said he was going to go live earlier today. Well, he told me earlier today he was going to go live. At what time, he hadn't chosen yet. So, because this was really more just to have some fun on a cold, lazy, snowy afternoon. I thought maybe you guys would have some fun with me. It's great to have Van Edwards here, making the suggestions and stuff. But yeah, I wanna know how best to deal with this, because it's a lot of effort also to intercept craft. So if I was to run a rescue mission, it would be a lot of fucking effort, because I'd have to design the craft, I'd have to prepare for several different things, and it would take time to engineer. So it would be up to you people to decide this. Let's track these. Come on. There we go. We are, okay, so we've got, Festlove says, Bullfrog's in spacewalk, because he can do that. Oh, come on, Ken. I mean, like, we're kind of lost, Ken. I mean, I don't know if we can even get back to Earth, Ken. Like, come on, Ken, please. I don't wanna. Say this is Bullfrog. I don't wanna go out. Oh my God, the moon. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, YR, please give me a sandwich, something. I'm hungry. Ooh, a switch. It says self-destruct. I think I'm gonna press it. Oh, the moon. Oh my God. I don't know if we want to give Bullfrog that. Schleppy says, let them in orbit. I guess he means leave them in orbit. But regardless, he wants them left in orbit. Oh, Well, they're not dead, but they're stuck there right now until something happens. There would have to be a rescue mission that gets operated, and maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will have I'll have like a school bus, shuttle, and I'll have Mars driving it, and he'll say, "Get in, fuckers," and we'll just have you guys like go into the what's it called, the equipment bay, just jump into a seat, and then it'll take you back. So, all right, well that's the suggestion that we're getting. We're not getting many other suggestions. So I had fun though. I had fun engineering this stuff. I had fun, actually doing the jet. That was actually, better than I expected. And I might just tweak that jet because it's actually extremely powerful, much more powerful than I expected. So, there's a good chance that could be used to launch maybe a spacecraft, or maybe we could use it for like an Aurora program where it launches another space plane, but it's going fast enough that the ramjets will work, or the scramjets will work properly, and really punches it out into orbit. Um, so yeah, well, actually, if you want to look into that, look into Copper Canyon, Project Copper Canyon. That was one of several different um, systems. Okay, so the apparently, according to black sources, not people like underground operatives. Maybe some of them are black. I don't know, but the whole thing is that the Aurora program is not one plane; it's several, and it's several different types of launching platforms, and that includes a launcher and an orbiter. So the launcher launches with this orbiter on top of it, gets to a high enough speed where then it just detaches from the orbiter. The orbiter now has enough speed to make its scramjet work properly, and that thing just hits the fuel and just shoots out into the atmosphere, like out of the atmosphere into orbit. And then once it's in orbit, it's got all the necessary fuel that it can maneuver and do all this sort of thing. But and then obviously it can deorbit because it's got enough fuel, and then land back at secret, Air Force base, or a base that runs these things, like Edwards Air Force Base, for example, China Lake, obviously Groom Lake, many others. Um, but yeah, that is purportedly what is the whole Aurora program, is that it's a multi-stage orbital insertion craft, and uh, yeah, it needs a platform to launch first before it can actually get into orbit. But that's just one of the many stories that I could tell you. So I guess we're gonna leave the boys in orbit. They didn't die. They didn't die. My intention was to keep them living, but they're in orbit, in a stable one. We won't see any degradation, I don't believe. No, we're in a stable orbit here. Even at 23 kilometers, it 143 is, even with the light sort of gravity. If you come too low, you might hit a mountain, but also the gravity will keep pulling on you as you get that close, and it will slow you down, and eventually it degrades your orbit. That's worse when you have a planet like Earth, which has an atmosphere, which slows you down even more. So your orbit, either if you want to stay stable in orbit, you got to constantly be updating your orbital maneuvers and increasing it, just like the space station, the ISS has to do. If not, eventually, not just the gravity, but the atmosphere it drags you enough that basically forces you right back in the atmosphere, burn up, blah blah blah. So these boys are safe for now. We've corrected our plane quite well. I'm happy about that. Should make getting back to Earth, and hopefully even the Space Center, much easier for next time. But the boys are there. Hopefully they'll remain safe. What was the key? No, hold on. No. turn that off as well. Nope, not the gear. We didn't want the gear. Can't remember the button. God damn it. Whatever. I had fun. Hope you guys did too. I'm going to go quit to the main menu. All right, so there we go. Another episode, episode 13. You know, kind of ominous because, you know, things went wrong. But at least they didn't die. So now we have options for the future, whether we're going to try to save them or what now. But I am Devious Dave Rose, and I appreciate everyone who came around. Not too many people, but people who, you know, wanted to watch. Appreciate the input that we got. And, yeah, I hope you guys have yourselves a great remainder of the weekend. Look out for shows tonight, potentially by YR. And I don't know if No Hard Feelings is on tonight. Could be. You never know. And there might be something else. You never know. Devious Dave Rose, signing.